Raccoonus.
Hi, everyone. We're here in Paris, as you can clearly see. Oh, actually, we're underneath the ground. No. Hi, everybody. My name is Zenthrow. I'm going to be here showcasing Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus all keys for everyone today. I am joined by two of my lovely commentators.
What's up, guys? My name's Exodus. I'm also a Sly runner.
I'm Synderkit5, and I'm also a Sly runner. Crazy, yeah.
Alrighty. So one thing that I want to get to right before we make this countdown, you will notice that I am going to be loading a file here that has the 0% on the left side, and it's got a tiny bit of playtime. This is because we have set up this file to where we can skip all of the animated cutscenes that are just long and unskippable normally, so I can just press a button and skip them, so that way we can just keep going from place to place to place. But now that explanation's out of the way, you guys want to do a countdown from 3 and we'll go?
Sure, all right.
All right.
3, 2, 1,
go! Alrighty. So starting out immediately here, we have a tutorial level that's supposed to teach you how to play the game, how to be an awesome raccoon. You get to meet the cool character Carmelita Fox that Cinder is cosplaying.
Wait, you can't skip me. What are you doing?
Well,
I'm one of the best characters in the game.
Yeah, but you talk a lot.
I do talk a lot.
We're just going to go ahead and jump out of bounds, up over a death plane, and then go towards the wall, slide under another death plane, and just fall to the end of the level and skip the tutorial completely. We know how to play the game here, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I'll use this little bit of time here to talk about how the base structure of the game is lined up. There are 5 hub worlds in the game that you access from these things that kind of look like portraits. And the first 4 worlds of these, you have an introductory level that kind of introduces you to the themes of the level, followed by 6 more levels, and then a boss fight. This is how the first 4 worlds work, and then World 5 we'll get to a little bit later. Here we have a sequence of things that I'm going to be doing to kind of focus on, so if Cinder or Exo want to take it away and explain these things, feel free.
Wait, are you going for, see, I don't even know what you're doing right now. Wait a second.
So we're going to be going over here, and we're going to be doing a trick called boost jump.
Boost jump, okay.
Whoops. Okay. That's fine. We'll just respawn.
Just getting it out of the way early.
That's what you're supposed to do, right?
The jitters out of the way immediately.
Yeah.
So what Zen's trying to do here is he's trying to ledge grab on that tower there, and with a precise pause and some button inputs, we're able to get a higher jump off that, and that'll allow him to get out of bounds so we can skip a part of the level.
Nope.
We're going to see a raccoon flying a lot today.
And that first trick right there, it's really easy to just kind of gloss over it. You get stuck between the sign in a specific spot and the rock, and then the game has a fail-safe, which is typically referred to in a lot of games called proxies, where it will just throw you up out of the spot that you were stuck in. And
nice, there we go.
That is the boost jump to get up out of bounds. And then here we're going to be going for a really fancy trick. So we're going to set up a spot right here, and then we're actually going to backtrack a little bit. You know, I really like where we just came from, so I kind of want to go down here and see this area again. You guys are okay with that, right?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
We got enough time for the detour. I mean, I died, so, you know.
So basically, he set his grounded position up on that rock where he started jumping from, and now he's going to try to get himself stuck here and then basically get sent flying to the end of the level if it works properly.
Okay.
But if I remember right, you bump off of the rock and then get sent to the end of the level, right?
Yeah. So the stuck spot's it's not like super precise, but I just missed the angle by a little bit. But what you'll be looking for is we're going to get launched back very fast. Okay, not like that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to do some old movement here just to move along. But what would have happened had I not been messing up the angle there is we would have got launched back at absolute Mach 5 speed, and we would have bounced off the rock just perfectly, and it would have let us get the perfect angle to launch all the way to the end of the level. But unfortunately, I missed it a couple of times there. The stuck spot is a little finicky, and I did just learn this trick a few months beforehand, so.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn it myself as well. It's not easy.
But anyway, that is the first level. We've got all of the jitters out of the way. We are good to go.
We got our first key.
Yes.
Normally in any percent, we would skip collecting most of the keys in World 1 and just kind of skip straight to the boss. But since this is all keys, you can kind of think of it as like all levels. So we actually get to go through each level of the game and collect the keys and get to see cool different strats for that.
You'll also notice when we left that level, we entered a certain part of the hub world, reloaded, and ended up in a different spot. There is a little bit of a platformer section, almost works like a tutorial where there's an extra charm and stuff you can collect along the way. But if you just load the game, you can load straight to the middle of the hub world, so that way you don't have to do all that extra platforming and save a good 30 seconds or so.
Exactly, yeah.
And you will see that at the end of every introductory level like that. You're also going to hear Bentley talk a lot. Unfortunately, I can do nothing about that.
My favorite is when we go too fast and then he just stops talking.
Yeah. If only it was like that in Sly 4, right?
Do we hear Carmelita talk at all in this category?
Hopefully not. Whoops.
Oh, all right, okay.
So I run every category in this game, and in all vaults and 100%, you get all the bottles, obviously. And it's really easy to just accidentally grab the first set of bottles in this level, because when I learned those categories, I would always miss them, so I like burned it into my brain to remember. And I always accidentally grab those first two bottles like that.
At least it's not bad for you to collect them.
Exactly. As an all vaults runner, I also feel this struggle.
So here we're doing one of the few instances of movement tech that we have called cane jumping. And essentially when you press circle to latch onto a thing, which is how you latch onto like objects and spire points and stuff, when you press circle to do that, as soon as Sly's cane latches onto the thing, you can actually already jump off of it. And you can use this to store speed, movement, height, whatever you want, and you can use it to access some areas a little bit earlier than intended or move faster than just walking along it normally.
Flying raccoon?
Flying raccoon, yep. So unfortunately, that's our first instance, not our second, but trust me, there will be plenty more.
I don't even know how to explain what happens there.
Isn't it because Sly spawns slightly off the ground, so if you spam X, it launches you up in the air?
Possibly.
Yes, and it also only works on checkpoints where Sly will spawn flat. So if there's ever a tiny amount of angle to it, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. So it only works on like 3 checkpoints in the game, and only 1 is it useful.
Oh, I didn't actually know that. Cool.
Yeah. Here we have an instance of a trick that's actually changed since the last time all keys was done back in 2019. So we used to jump off of a guard here and do a trick called BBJ, or belly bump jump.
I will not miss that.
And instead, we're just gonna come over here and we're gonna say hi to this wall for a little bit. So we're just gonna be like, "Hi wall, how are you doing?"
Flying raccoon.
And then
Flying raccoon.
There we go. And we're over here now. Don't think too much about it. So in those lovely animated cutscenes that I will be skipping, I guess I can give a little bit of the backstory to the game, just in case there's someone out there that's never played this wonderful game. Basically, Sly, as a kid, he's a part of this long line of very famous thieves. And as a kid, he and his father are just kind of hanging out one night, and this group called the Fiendish Five enter their house uninvited, as you might expect. And unfortunately, our raccoon friend here did not get to leave that night with his father. So we're kind of on a pseudo revenge quest, but also it's kind of like a coming of age. This is our first big test to see if we can be a Cooper without the book there to kind of guide us throughout our childhood.
Gotta beat the 5 and get our book back.
I don't think the Thievius Raccoonus explains all these crazy proxies, though. I don't think that's in the, in the manual.
Press X to become flying raccoon.
All right, we went an entire level without seeing Sly get launched out of something, so that's too long.
I need more flying raccoon. That's not okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing a trick here, affectionately referred to as ACD proxy. You can also call it bookcase proxy, or like a lot of runners, you can call it an awful trick. Basically, we're going to be timing a X input very specifically to jump off of a platform that we're going to be like ledge grabbing this like little bookcase, like the hole between the bookcase and this wall. And what that's going to do is it's going to launch us up. If I can get the timing right here.
Flying raccoon. Flying raccoon.
There we go.
And we're right here at the keep. No need to play these levels, right?
Nice.
Another important thing I'd like to mention, you'll notice when Zen entered that level, he started a Bentley cutscene and then immediately reloaded the game. The reason he did that was if you've already watched a cutscene and reload that file, that cutscene will count as already watched. So that way we don't have to talk to Bentley as often.
Yes.
We talked to that guy enough already.
Yeah, he's kind of annoying, actually.
And then right here, getting a precise angle and manipulating the guard, we can actually get him to shoot a shot, and then we can land on top of the shot and use it as a platform without taking damage. Because for some reason, the hitbox that you can like walk on is a little bit ahead of the actual damaging part of the hitbox. So you can just use it as a platform.
Just casually jumping off his snot projectile.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, there's many names for that trick. There's snot jump, there's loogie lunge.
Loogie lunge gang?
There are some less gross ones, I imagine. And coming up, we have the first of a handful of minigames that All Keys does play. Some of these minigames they're just RNG. They're kind of a little boring. This one in particular is terrifying because the chests, if the crabs grab them and you kill them at the absolute worst time, the chests will fall out of bounds and there's nothing you can do about it except restart. So that sucks. We're going to hope that doesn't happen. And in order to do that, I'm actually going to throw it over to our host to get some nice donations read here.
I will happily do that for you. Now, you said that the raccoon is what flies, yes?
Yes.
So we have $25 here from a random guard, and I think I believe them when they say, listen, I ain't seeing any raccoons sneaking around at all. I did see a weird rat fly straight up into the sky, though. Thank you for your input, a random guard. Time for any more?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Okay, wonderful. I got $15 here for you from Danny, who says, Sly Cooper has been my favorite since I was a kid. It's great to see it on the SGDQ stage again. Good luck, Zenthrow. Less than 3.
Thank you.
I also have $10 here from you, from a Fly on Wall. And they would like to say, bzz.
That's fun.
Very helpful, thank you.
Oh, no. Okay, we're good.
Scary.
All right.
Everything all right over there? Do you need more donations, or are you good?
We're good now.
Wonderful.
And I just want to point out I wasn't scared one bit. Very stoic up here.
Easiest level in the game.
I was terrified.
Good posture, We're good. We're good. I did just tell you that you were good with the donations, but actually I have to reset the game here. So I'm going to explain why I'm resetting the game, and then I can just throw it right back to you. I'm sorry.
Sure thing. I'm here whenever you need me.
So the first thing you're going to notice about me resetting the game here is that there's going to be a fancy PlayStation 3 menu. And you might be saying, well, Zenthrow, this game originally came out on the PS2, and it kind of looks like you're playing the PS2 game, not the remaster. And that is accurate. Unfortunately, the backwards compatible PlayStation 3 saves just a small amount of time in resets and loads over the course of all 4 of the categories. So we are cursed with PlayStation 3 instead of the PlayStation 2, but that's okay, because we like to go fast. And go ahead.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have $50 here for you from Kyle, who says, absolutely had to donate during one of the best series of all time. Good luck, Zenthrow. I'm sure this run will be greasy sweet.
Thank you, Kyle.
It's an interesting descriptor. I have $20 here also from GG, who is trying to make us all feel old. $20 for 20 years of Sly Cooper.
Don't remind me. And all right, so we are in the first boss fight here. This is Raleigh. He is the first of the 5 Fiendish 5 gang members. He's just a frog that was born rich, and he got bored, so he became a pirate and lost all his teeth.
He's got a pretty cool hat, though.
That's the lore.
Cool hat, though, yeah.
He does have a sick hat. I think Pippy would approve of his hat, honestly.
A very good hat. I do approve.
You'll notice that I'm waiting to hit him to when he like shrinks and starts to jump back towards the platform. That's just to overlap the animation of him jumping back and his damage animation. It saves a half a second each hit, but it's pretty easy to go for. That was really close. So if you do the last hit of a boss and you get the autosave, that immediately counts. I've killed the boss, I'm good to go, I can leave immediately. So I'm pausing and getting the final hit at the same time there. And I almost missed the pause button on my controller, and we almost lost a minute. But I didn't, so we're good.
It's good.
Getting that pause will just mean we don't have to listen to the boss cutscene after completing the boss fight. We can
Exactly.
just move on to World 2.
And here we have a very infamous trick. If you watched the interview earlier, I told you there was a person that joined our community for 2 months, 2 weeks, and found a trick and then just left. He found the initial version of this trick that I'm about to do right here, which I didn't get the actual launch I wanted, but it's fine.
We still got to see a flying raccoon. I'm
We got
very
to see
happy.
a little bit of one. Ideally, if I time that correctly, I get launched super high up in the air and I can fly all the way to the end. The angle, it's a little bit precise to get that timing, but it's not that hard. I'm honest, I'm a little sad that I missed it, because this would be the 3rd time now that I've had the opportunity to do it at GDQ and missed it, but one day we'll break the curse, right?
Yeah, it's all right. We still got to see him fly.
And we gotta walk to the end like we're supposed to. Ugh. I guess we get to see this part of the level. It looks cool, honestly, going through these broken down subway trains with lasers for some reason, just normal things you see every day in Utah, right?
Right.
We just really wanted to show off the level design.
Yeah, it's amazing. They did a great job.
All right, so like Exo mentioned earlier with World 1, as soon as we get into the hub world, we can load the game to go to the default spawn position for the hub world. So we're gonna do that again, and we're gonna be greeted with a cutscene immediately, because Bentley never shuts up, but that's okay. He's just, he's a good friend, right? He's trying to tell us about all the things we need to be warned about. So, he's got our backs.
Yo, yo, yo.
We love mugshots, like old-timey gangster movie talk.
He's the best.
All right, so here in Boneyard Casino, we're gonna be going for another flying raccoon strat. This one is gonna be the first one for a certain type of flying raccoon. It's called a void drown. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a specific starting position, and then I'm going to jump into the water that is out of bounds, and I'm gonna slide out of the water into the void while I'm in the animation for Sly like drowning. And what that's going to allow me to do is after a while, okay, there we go, is after a while, the animation will end and then it will slingshot me back towards the end of the level. Okay, a little far left, that's fine. We have the second charm here. Perfect.
Looks good.
All right. Now we're going to do a camera manipulation here, so I can see where I'm going. And hopefully...
Land on the wheel.
Perfect.
Yes.
There we go.
That was great.
I'm going to load the game back here before grabbing the key, because, again, another reason we're playing on the PS2 version of the game is when you load the game, anything that you do during the fade out will actually count on the file that you loaded. So I loaded the file there so I could get my charms back, loading the original state that I entered the level in, and then I grabbed the key afterwards, and then that will write the key to the save that I'm already loading. Oops. The collision there on the wall is a little finicky, and I haven't actually had to do that jump in a couple years. I usually would jump from the fence, but it's a little riskier, so I tried to be safe.
I don't think I've ever been able to get that jump off the wall.
The
I
wall.
always do the
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah,
It sucks when you miss it, though.
It does. You just immediately get sniped by the guard.
It's so much harder to get up, too, once you're not going full speed at the right angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here we have the first of 2 race levels in the game. This one we have to actually play. So what's going to happen is we're just going to be racing dogs. They have some really like wacky vehicles, like you would expect out of wacky races or something. This guy's, he's driving like a pound vehicle. The guy has a hearse. The front one has a mariachi band on the background. It's
That
crazy.
was my favorite. Yeah.
But this is essentially just an auto-scroller, even though it looks kind of cool. So, Pippy, take it away.
I'd love to. I have for you $5 from Sly Cooper, the one and only. And Sly would like to say, with all this flying I'm doing, I thought I was a squirrel. Thanks, Sly. Here's also $100 from Noodle Legs. Sly Cooper is one of my favorite franchises of all time. So awesome to see it utterly broken. And I can't wait to watch the rest of the event. Love everything so far. I think so far it has been delightfully broken. Thank you so much for that, Zenthrow. Another $100 for you from Anonymous, the ever generous, who says, we've got to see that Symphony of the Night bonus run. Reminder that we are still hoping to see that get on the schedule. I believe in you, chat. You still driving over there?
Yes.
Wonderful. Here's $25 for you from Cetra Blues, who would also like to see that Symphony of the Night rando, because they say, I need that Symphony of the Night rando. And I know you do too. Come on, attendees in chat, let's get it. Yeah, attendees, how do you feel about that? That's what I like to see.
That was a cool flip, man.
Yeah, that was a complete accident. We did see something there that's actually really interesting, though. So if you do a boost and then you start to like get off of the ground as the boost is like initiating, you will start to fly at super quick speeds. And theoretically, you could use this and manipulate it to like boost at far higher speeds than you could ever go. But in order to do that consistently and to be able to go forward and not just in any direction randomly, it would have to be. I don't think a human could actually practice that enough to do that consistently. But I would love to see that in like a task setting one day. So, Z, Neon, if one of you guys wanted to, do something for your boy, I would love to see that.
Flying raccoon.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to explain that one. That happened. We're also out of bounds and running to, the end of, not to the end, but to the second part of the hub world because it's a little bit quicker.
Things happen so fast sometimes. It's like, we're just flying now.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, we're about to immediately in this level too. We're going to enter it and then just leave immediately because we're going to get this trick up here called Arrow Proxy. And
Very
there you go.
nice.
So normally you see all this level back here. You go through this long, rooftop section. You start climbing up a sign. It falls down. It's this huge set piece. And it's really cool. But we don't have time for that. We're just going to trigger the cutscene right at the end here and just get the key. And then we're going to drop on that guy like we're playing Batman. And this jump is actually pretty tricky. Okay, I did not get any movement there. So let's go. I'm going to do this, I think, 2 more times. It's not going to work. There we go.
There we go. Nice.
All right. So those spires, when you press circle to latch onto things, each individual thing that latches onto you has its own range to activate it, and those are like really high up, so you can barely only hit them from that mattress because you're supposed to be higher up when you go there. And right there, you'll see I transferred the save that we're going to be playing on down to the second file, leaving the file 1 that I started on, leaving it here in Back Alley Heist. And we'll get to that quite a bit later, but just keep that in the back of your mind, you know? Something to rack your brain with. And then coming up will be the only boss skip that we're actually gonna do. Since we have all of the keys in worlds 1, 3, and 4, it's easier to just go to the thing that I unlock, to just do it, the casual way. But for this one, the platform is so out of the way and it initiates a cutscene that we'd have to watch that it's just easier to just come over here and do the any % trick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up our ground position in that corner, and then we're gonna come over here and get stuck behind this mustache on Mugshot's face. We're gonna clip through and hit the always active loading zone, and here we are in the second boss fight.
Nice, very nice.
Unfortunately, we don't get to hear him say Thingus Rackamagoogus, but we do get to hear the PlayStation 2 sound. Now that's always lovely, right?
Yeah.
We love our retro video game sounds.
We also did just get to hear you say Thingus Magoogus. The other words, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Thingus Rackamagoogus. Ah, we love Mugshot. Mm-hmm. Not getting to watch the cutscenes is a little bittersweet, honestly. There's so much personality in this game, especially in Sly 2 and 3.
Do we talk about the size comparison between his arms and legs?
No,
He
but
definitely skipped leg day.
Yes.
I'll tell you that for sure.
I think he skipped everything except leg and upper body day, honestly.
He doesn't even walk with his legs.
Darn. So if you hit him before the last mirror finish spins, you can actually skip this little cutscene and just go straight to him going up. I just barely missed the timing, but it's a small time save. It's not really that big of a deal, but it is worth noting. And I don't understand how this boss fight actually works, mechanically. The rest of the bosses, you beat him up, you hit him with the cane, right? This boss, we're turning mirrors around to melt his gigantic guns somehow.
Yeah, because his
lighting up
body is so
crystals?
buff that we can't physically do anything to him.
Yeah, I don't think I would fare too well fighting Mugshot either, honestly.
Maybe if you tried to sweep the legs, I don't know.
And because jumping around is too slow, we can just jump in the middle.
Yeah,
It should be fine. Okay.
that was scary.
Yeah,
I was a little terrified myself.
I wasn't whatsoever. You guys are rookies compared to the 7-year veteran up here.
Yeah, you know.
Although I think Cinders actually ran the game longer than me.
Yeah. Late 2015, I think.
Yeah.
Is when I started. Yeah.
Got about a half year over. Actually, I think you have, a half year over me or so.
Yeah. I've been around,
Yeah.
Funny enough, I actually started running this game due to watching Zenthrow's GDQ run at SGDQ in 2019.
2019, yeah. Funny story. I was supposed to actually be here for that run, but I had to get a root canal and then fly home.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always very unfortunate. I felt so bad, Cinder.
Yeah.
But hey, we're happy that you got to be here this year.
Yeah, I'm finally here. It's great. Yeah.
So this is, I think we refer to them as rail shooters. I don't actually know if that term is correct or not. I would just always said it. But basically, this section is just another auto-scroller. These guards will spawn in the same spots at the same time every time that you go through it. So you can just sit here and pre-fire them. You can do your best CSGO Opera impression and hold all these angles, and you can relive finals, right? You're in overtime. You have one dog guard left carrying a machine gun.
So you do have to be careful not to hit Murray, because you can actually hit him.
Yeah, that is something that you have to be acutely aware of. Murray is, in fact, hittable, and if you hit him, it doesn't matter how many charms you have, it is an instant kill. Because why would you shoot that lovable oaf right there? I mean, look at him. How could you do that? I know you've done it at home. How could you?
Definitely not guilty of that myself.
No, never.
Never.
No, I would
Absolutely
never.
never.
No.
I got my eye on you guys. All right, now some of you, you very, very attentive folks, might have realized I only got 6 keys in Hub 2. We'll revisit that later. It's another thing to keep in your brains.
Weird. There's supposed to be 7, right?
Yes, there is supposed to be 7. Now we got to get a specific lineup here. Okay, that wasn't it. I'm just gonna do it like this. Apologies, I know this looks kind of strange. Oh, what? Okay. So I actually got the trick there, I just didn't get launched. I've actually never seen that, as you would expect from GDQ.
That looked like it should have worked.
Exactly,
Yeah.
I slid all the way around the tree. I've never not seen that launch.
That's never
crazy.
not happened before?
Yes. Oh, did I trip over my words?
Just gotta build the suspense.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go for the old trick that we used to do here.
DSJ?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go
Oh
for
my
DSJ without any practice. It'll be okay, I promise.
Oh my god.
Just too good of the video
Wow.
game.
So I haven't done DSJ in probably 4 years.
Yeah, I'm impressed actually.
So to just be able to audible straight into that. So that is basically a double blind jump with a camera change midway through. And, it's been 4 years since I've done it, and we did it.
You also have to land in a very specific spot on that rock. If you're a little left,
Yes.
little right, you fall right off.
Yeah.
These introductory levels have not been going well. Perilous Descent will break that trend, though, I promise.
It's been a good time though.
It has been,
I
yeah.
think we're having fun, yeah.
I can't believe we're already in World 3.
I know. It goes by so fast.
It really does. It feels like I should not be this far into the game already.
But yeah, what he was trying to do with the van was get himself stuck and then kind of like shoot off out of bounds, more flying raccoon shenanigans.
Yeah. And then you can just run out of bounds. You can see like the void to your right and the level to your left, and you just jump down to that candle area. But honestly, DSJ, that's a blast from the past. I don't mind that I got that, got to show that off.
Yeah, that was really cool.
The retro tricks right there.
So you call them retro, but I still do DSJ in my runs.
You do? Why?
Because I haven't learned the new strat yet.
Fair,
I just love
fair.
DSJ so much.
It's pretty satisfying, yeah.
I would like to point out the difficulty for DSJ versus the other proxy, it is exponentially different. The proxy is just doing a setup that I just kept barely missing the angle on. It is worth noting, I guess, I don't want to use this as an excuse, but my console that I played on for 7 years died 2-3 weeks before SGDQ, and I had to get a new console, and there's a difference between the AO1 and BO1 models from EO1. So I'm playing on basically a completely different console that I only had a couple of weeks to get used to.
They do actually feel different, yeah.
It feels very weird. You'll notice, if you've seen the 2019 run, my game right now looks a lot more like the PlayStation 2 version of the game. The EO1 models use a different form of emulation to play the game on the console. And what that does is it gets rid of the cell shading animation and instead makes it kind of like claymation. So a lot of things change. You actually lose the ability to see your invincibility frames when you're playing on EO1 models.
Yeah, that's weird.
There's a level where with a bunch of green textures and none of the green textures load, so everything is just black and it's impossible to play. But thankfully we don't actually ever have to play that level, so it doesn't really matter what console you're on. But here, there is a very infamous newer trick to the run called fish skip, where you can actually clip through the gate and skip this minigame. Unfortunately, the trick is very, very ridiculous in terms of consistency.
Very hard, yeah.
It is a very, very difficult
I
trick.
definitely argue it's one of, if not the most difficult trick in the entire
I would say it's the hardest trick in
Yeah.
the game.
So in a marathon setting, it's not really something that I personally find viable. And I've been trying to learn it for probably the entire last year. What?
Oh, okay.
That was weird. I've been playing it for the last year trying to learn it. And I've gotten it maybe 30 times in a year. If that says anything about the level of inconsistency the trick can have if you're not great at it. All right, so here we're gonna be doing some strange movement right here to get on top of this tree. And then we're gonna jump onto this tree. Yeah, thank you. And we're gonna be going out of bounds. Nothing makes any sense. We've not even seen any of the level. And here we are right at the end. Don't worry about it, it's okay. Ooh. This is how we play Sly Cooper these days.
I feel like every level is either making Sly fly somewhere or just immediately getting out of bounds and skipping the entire level.
I did say that we would be playing all of the levels. I did not say how much of the levels we would be playing. And as you can see, it's not very much.
Unless it's a mini game, then you're kind of forced to
sit
through the whole thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Piranha Lake is the only minigame that we have a skip for. And the skip for it is awful, so it's really unfortunate. Here we have a minigame where I'm basically just going to be running back and forth and killing a bunch of chickens to make gumbo for a ghost for reasons. And then he's going to give me a key, and you basically sell out his boss. So, while I do this, feel free to read a couple of donations, Pippy.
I would love to do that for you. I have here $250 from Bard621.
All right.
Let's hear it for Bard. They would like to say, I looked at the donation, and can we be this close to 200,000 this early on day 2? I know GDQ is about being fast, so let's see how much more we can raise. Put this donation to Runner's Choice. We can be even closer, everyone. Let's get there. I also have for you $5 from Ivy Carnivora, who says, absolutely love this game. Can't wait to see Miss Ruby get broken.
Don't worry, it happens.
Oh, perfect. I look forward to it. Also $25 from Floose177. What a fun name. And they would like to say, the only thing I love more than Sly Cooper is that sweet, sweet PS2 load up sound.
Yes.
So the reason why Zen loaded the game there instead of just getting the key and exiting level is so he could get that charm back that he lost along the way. It only loses a couple seconds, and that way he can go into the rest of the game with 2 charms on his back.
And it's partly a little bit safety, but it's also because in World 4 I will be needing 2 charms to do 2 pretty major skips. So hopefully we won't have to use them for safety, but if we do, there are a couple of pickups along the way. And I think my coin count's pretty high, so we can get a coin charm. That's a game mechanic I guess I kind of glossed over a little bit. You'll notice that there are coins scattered throughout the level. These kind of act like Wampa Fruit in the Crash Bandicoot games. And after 100, instead of getting an extra 1-up, you get an extra hit. Normally, Sly is a 1-hit kill platformer game. Then these charms that you have on the background will give you 1 extra hit if it's a silver charm. If it's a gold one like this, you can take 2 extra hits. And after you get 100 coins, you will get just a bonus charm. However, if you have a gold charm, it does give you an extra life, much like you would expect from, a Mario game or Crash or something else. Yeah, so my coin count's a little high, so we'll just get the 1-up, which is fine because I've died a couple times, so a little extra safety.
Yeah, not much really goes on in this level. You're just kind of shooting your way through to the end.
Yeah, at the very end, you can do some movement that looks a little strange and snipe the tombstones that spawn the ghosts at the end from behind, and it saves a good bit of time versus breaking the barriers. As you can see, chipping through these barriers takes quite a while.
Yeah, don't sock off soft lock your game like me by not breaking enough.
Ah, that was very awful. I'm sorry. I was not expecting that to be that, like, abrasive on my ears.
It's always like really loud in that level for some reason when you're breaking all the tombstones and stuff.
You also just shoot the whole time, so all you hear is ba 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 ba.
Exactly. Here we have some really cool movement. So these guards, they can only actually spot you if you are on the railing itself. So if you double jump and then press circle to spire, you can stall out over the height of their spot, and you can just go straight to descent instead of having to run around the circle. And then descent here is, no matter what category, I kind of feel like it's like the make or break hardest level in the, not the hardest level, but it just feels like it always has it out for everyone that plays this game.
This level's so hard.
Like, you have a pretty like difficult movement tech trick there. And then you have an awesome trick here that we got first try called Scuba Skip.
Very good.
That's one of my favorite tricks in the game. The devs didn't extend the death plane all the way there, so with a precise double jump, you're able to just skip that and walk right under the water.
Yeah, just go scuba diving, go for a swim, yeah.
So I forgot to load the game to get the charm back, like I did in the down-home cooking minigame, but that's fine. I can just grab an extra charm here at the end of, after I beat Ms. Ruby. I'll just go grab a bonus one, just to be safe. Well, it'll be the quickest one I can get. It's not to be safe, it's the fastest one that I have available to me right now.
Yeah.
If anybody can find a way to trigger that cutscene without all 7 keys, I will give you the biggest of hugs, by the way. Because this is the only boss that we cannot actually enter the boss fight to, despite the level trigger being the easiest to access, because it's just not active always like the other 3 boss fights are. So, you know, there's something for you.
Hopefully someday we'll be able to actually skip
I hope someday.
this world as well.
The community does have a bounty on finding a World 3 skip, correct?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, I still, I still have like $100 I'll throw in if anyone ever finds it.
Someday.
Yeah,
somewhere.
someday. But then at that point, any percent just turns into a boss rush.
For real.
All right, so as we promised our donator earlier, Ms. Ruby will definitely be getting very broken here. So normally what you do is you run up to Ms. Ruby and you just whack her. She teleports away, then she tells you how the next phase of the boss fight's gonna work. But if you jump out of bounds on this stuff over here that has collision, and then you jump over here on some invisible stuff that has collision, and then you jump back here in this water specifically, that has now set the game's boss flag. Where did I end up? Whatever, we'll just go over here. That has now set the flag in the game to skip past this first phase, and put me in the second phase where we're gonna play DDR. And by play DDR, I mean I'm gonna mash these buttons because you don't actually have to time them, you can just mash.
That blew my mind when I found that out.
Same, I didn't know this until I started speedrunning either.
I feel like there's a lot of people here who remember being stuck on this level for a very long time, and hearing that you can spam those buttons for the first time, oh, it kind of
If I had known that as a kid, I spent days fighting Ms. Ruby.
Yes, my dad and I spent many frustrated hours trying to time this. And on the PS2 version of the game, this area has a little bit of extra like input lag to it. Because there's just so much stuff going on screen with all the roosters in the background dancing, as you can see. You can actually see a chicken over here. They will do backflips.
They're having a great time.
Some of them lay eggs to the beat. It's very strange.
Do.
Coming up here, I'm going to be killing Ms. Ruby a phase early. So normally there are 3 phases of this DDR stuff. I'm gonna get up really close to her, and then I'm gonna be holding an angle running, and I'm going to load and hit her 2 times during the fade out. And that's gonna count as the boss kill. It's gonna let me skip all of the cutscenes that play afterwards. And it lets me skip another entire phase of the boss. So plenty about this boss fight is broken.
It's a shame, though. The final phase is really fun.
It's kind of scary.
All right.
Nice, very good.
Very stressful. It's something that's very easy to do, but if you mess it up, you have to do the entire boss fight over again.
Yeah.
It's over a 3-minute time loss if you end up missing that trick.
And like, it's something that you could boot up the game at home right now, and after 10, 15 minutes of messing with it, you could probably do that. But it just, if you miss it, man, it's awful.
Time to hang out with our friend the Panda King.
Yes. Best boss in the game.
May I bring you an update real quick?
Of course.
We are now officially over halfway to that Symphony of the Night randomizer, everyone. Please keep the train, oh yes. Keep that train rolling in.
Flying raccoon.
Oh God, I am super high up.
You were very high up.
Where am I going? Can I land here? Can I land here? Okay, we're good. All right.
Nice.
Oh, don't worry. If you think that that was cool, wait until you see this.
Yeah. Some good height on that one.
Yeah, a little bit too much height, actually. I'm kind of scared that I timed this wrong, but
I think you got it.
should be good. Oh, yeah, right here.
at the end.
There you
Hey, look,
go.
we're at the end of the level.
All
Wait,
right.
absolutely none of the level. Oh, it's so nice. That feels good. Finally, an introductory level that went well.
Yeah, that went very well.
Thank you.
So the reason why we leave that level first before getting the key is that way when we enter the level again, we'll enter from the back. Key is right over here on the other end of these trees. We can grab the key and immediately menu straight to the hub world, so we don't need to do any extra button input when we enter the hub world.
Exactly. Same concept as loading the game to get to the default spawn, except here we're just view mapping to it instead. And coming up, we have another one of these rail shooter levels. This one affectionately is owned by Hank Hill. He sells propane and propane accessories. All right, so this is, again, just another section. Murray's going to run up to the key. We're going to shoot some guards. Pretty rinse repeat from last time. So if you would like to have another section to talk about some donations, go ahead.
You know I would love to. I have $25 for you here from Odin Apsey, who says, "Look, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a flying rat."
He's a raccoon, guys. Show some respect.
We all need to learn our animals over here. Oh, here's someone who knows their animals. Azure Zachara sent in $50 and said, oh, or maybe somebody did, "Help! Some raccoon just stole my money and donated it to SGDQ." It's a good cause, though. Have you considered?
It feels very Sly Cooper, honestly.
The raccoon had good morals, okay?
Exactly.
Time for a few more?
Yeah, you're good.
Here's $10 for you from Slickify, who says, "Does the Sly community refer to that rail shooter as a rail shooter because Murray was running through the train cars?"
No, I think it's because it's like it's an auto scroller that you have some input in. So those sections are usually called rail sections in games, like in speedruns. So I think we just kind of stole it and threw shooter on the end of it.
Oh, so Sly Cooper stole that too. Oh,
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. He's a thief. I mean, can you blame
What he
him?
does.
I'm not blaming him. I appreciate it. Time for any more?
Actually, we're gonna play a game with the crowd and chat. So it's
oh, I love
RNG. How many guards spawn where here? So we always guess between 1 and 10 on rooftop guards.
Up 1. All right.
I'm feeling 3.
I'm feeling 4. Yeah. All right, 2. 3.
Getting him out of the way early.
Yeah. 4. There's the 4th
I
one.
was wrong.
Okay, no more roof guards. Dang it. 5. Nice.
Wow, you got a lot of roof guards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the roof guards technically lose a tiny bit of time because they're harder to hit because they're moving targets, but realistically, it's just fun.
I think it's possible to get 0 roof guards, but I've got just one.
I have seen
time.
one. I've seen one once, and I've seen 2 like 3 times.
Nice.
So the reward for beating the 3rd boss, Ms. Ruby, is beating the boss fights gives you a power-up to use that'll be useful in the next world. And her is invisibility. You can crouch down and go invisible. And we're actually going to use that crouch from the invisibility power-up to do a couple of proxies. The first one's going to be up here.
Hold down the circle button to drop out of sight.
So we're going to do some precise movement here. I'm going to swing my cane so that I target
Not guard.
this platform here, or this like
Already see you.
little thing in front of me
Visibility trick won't
to set up Sly's angle. And then I'm going to move the camera so it barely covers that torch in the background. And then I'm going to slide into here.
Flying right.
And, okay, well, that's unfortunate. So I didn't get the ledge grab up there. It can be a little finicky sometimes whether you get the ledge grab or not. So instead, we're just going to have to do a death abuse.
Yeah,
And I'll just...
at least you got the checkpoint up there.
Exactly. That's all that realistically matters doing this trick. There's another thing that you can do in here where you can use invisibility to clip through a box and like get proxied over to the bottom of this tower. And then you can do a weird like chain of super jumps to then land inside this building before you're supposed to, and it's crazy, but I didn't have enough time to practice that, and I didn't want to do something that was risky that I didn't know how to do, so.
Fair enough, yeah.
I think it's only G that has a run with that trick in it, right? With the proxy through the wall.
Oh, through the wall, yeah.
I think
probably.
only, yeah.
Yeah.
G is the world record holder for, I believe, all the categories now, right? He got the sweep.
I think he did.
Man, the legend.
I think he did, yeah.
Shout outs to G.
Yeah.
I believe he's the 3rd person since we've had all 4 main categories to get a sweep of all 4. I was the 1st, and then Tame Neon was the 2nd, and then Gehes is the 3rd.
Y'all are wild.
I held mine for almost a year. Neon held his for over a year, right? We'll have to see how long G holds his.
I think he'll be able to hold it for a while.
And who knows, you at home watching this run right now, you might be the next person to have the world record sweep in Sly Cooper.
No.
Oh my god.
So
That's a lot harder than
Whoa.
it looks. No, what happened? Wait.
I got too excited.
Okay.
Saved it though. That's
but
why.
yeah.
This is why you don't celebrate until you have the key, chat.
Yeah, that jump that he just did there is a lot harder than it looks.
Yes.
Incredibly precise.
It's very precise.
So what you're doing is you're kind of remember how earlier I was talking about cane jumping? I cannot keep this arm for the life of me. What we're doing there is we're doing the cane jumping, that mechanic, that movement tech, and we're using that to stall out our height and then also transfer some speed so that we can jump up to that platform and access it early. Normally there's a section behind you that has like some poles you climb with some coins that are hard to avoid if you're doing coinless. Those crazy people out there.
Just out of bounds right now. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, we've seen so many out-of-bounds flying tricks that it's just, this is the norm. We're going to have another one right here.
Time to spin.
Best trick in the game.
Yeah, so
Spinning.
this is another trick that you too at home can pick up and do. You just get in this corner and you spin the right analog stick and you keep doing it until it throws you out of bounds. And that's it. Oop. Sometimes it throws you out of the level.
Sometimes it does that.
And the wonderful lore behind this, and it has to be said every time, because a runner had actually reset, I believe it was Lamb Chop, level of Lamb Chop, if anyone here remembers him, reset a run and was upset that he had to reset the run in this level, and was kind of just moving around up there, upset, and just happened to proxy up out of bounds, and he found, on accident, the worst trick in the game.
Nice.
So, gotta love that. And then right there, you can actually land on top of the tower, and with some clever camera manipulation, you can load the key in and collect the key without having to break the tower. And right here, I'm going to be attempting to do a very, very difficult trick. I'm going to do it one time. We'll take one attempt at this, and then I will just carry on.
I believe.
So I'm just gonna kind of focus up here while I do this.
Easiest trick in the game, Zen.
Okay, I triggered the cutscene on accident. I'm gonna just load the game so we don't have to watch it, and then I will go for it one more time now. But if I fall out of the level and have to come back in, I will have lost the charm and I can't go for it. So, but right there, that's fine. So there's a very, very close to me, like basically right next to me, a few pixels to the right, there is a cutscene trigger where we talk to Carmelita, and she basically tries to say that all criminals are the same, and that, you know, the guy burying villages of innocent people is just as bad as us when we steal from bad guys, you know. Need to go a little bit quicker. I've landed in the cutscene again.
Basically, if you do this trick properly, you basically clip through it sends you to where the key is, like right at the end of the level. The backup for this is basically just playing through the entire level. So it's a huge deal. It's a huge skip.
I'm like too nervous to like do the inputs. Like I have to do like pretty quick.
Oh, so
Inputs.
close.
I think I triggered the cutscene again. Yeah. Okay. In the interest of time, yeah.
You gave it your best shot.
I think I'm gonna have to just play the level normally, unfortunately.
We'll get to see Carmelita.
We will get to see Carmelita. She's gonna angrily shoot at us at some point.
Yeah.
That's very disappointing. I've been practicing this trick like crazy because I really, really wanted to show it off. Basically, what would happen if I had gotten the trick is we would get up out of bounds and set up a grounded position, and then we're gonna do another super jump that you've seen a couple of times throughout the run. And we're gonna be hitting a level fade out, and as we're fading out of the level, the last possible second, we don't even get to see it, Sly will grab the key, and it looks really cool. You get to skip the entire level. It saves a minute plus when you do it right. And yeah. I think that's the only thing that I'm actually like I'm disappointed I wasn't able to show off, but
I mean,
sometimes it'd be like that.
it's such a shame. We're gonna have to see more of this wonderful game that was integral to people's childhoods. Oh
Yeah.
no, not that.
So normally right there, there's the first section, well, I guess the third section that Carmelita would shoot at us, and we just kind of skip it by jumping up and accessing the top platforms a little bit earlier. Here, Carmelita can be very mean to you. She has chosen to take pity on us because we are at GDQ. I respect this. She can snipe the platform that you're about to jump to, and you will just fall into the pit and die, and it's very sad.
Watch your back, Cooper. When you least expect it,
I'll be there.
And I guess on the bright side, since I wasn't able to do the trick, we have a charm for safety for the end game, which is nice because the end game is very terrifying.
Yes, very scary.
There's like 1 or 2 points where you will just be thrown into damage and there's not a thing that you can do about it. But it's pretty uncommon that happens.
Hurry. What are you doing down there?
So here we have the second race. The first one, I said we had to actually do the race. This time you'll find it's going to be a lot different, and it will probably make a lot of people that played this game as a kid upset, because it made me upset when I learned that you could just do this. So.
And casually, it's not an easy race either.
Oh, no, this is awful. Originally in development, apparently this was supposed to be the first race that you actually did, because Worlds 4 and 2 were flipped, which kind of makes sense because the World 2 race, you can see like billboards advertising the rest of the bosses, and it's kind of spoilery. So that rumor kind of makes sense.
Basically, he's just gonna grab a nitro boost and go over the wall into the end of the
Little
level.
too slow.
Because the key at the end of the race is right on the other side of this gate here. There you go. Nice. And that's the race.
Alright.
Yeah.
We raced the dogs. We didn't need to race the monkeys.
Now, if only we could figure out a way to do that on World 2
Yes.
Yes. Maybe someday.
someday.
All right, so here we're gonna be riding these fireworks up to the boss fight for World 4. This is Panda King. We're gonna be doing a kind of AI manipulation here where normally after you do 10 hits, he goes into this kind of like, I'm scared state. He's like, I'm scared. And then you do a 11th hit and that sends you to the next part of the phase. When you do that 11th hit and he like goes to knock you away, if you jump and do like some pretty precise timing, you can actually skip getting knocked back and then he'll just stay permanently in that like I'm scared state. And then if every 10 hits you continue to redo that, you can just cycle him infinitely and there's nothing that he can do about it. So we're gonna be going for that. And it's not a big deal if you miss them. They're pretty small time saves, but it's just kind of funny to make a mockery of the boss.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, whoops. Okay. I mistimed that. I miscounted, but that's fine. There we go.
Nice. There's one.
Okay.
Very nice.
We take 3 out of 4.
Yeah, that was great.
All right.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay, so right there, we did some major shenanigans. So if you remember what I said earlier, anything that you do during a fade out, right, gets saved to the file that you loaded. And you might have noticed right there that I had 2 pause menus come up. So when you're opening the pause, or when you're opening up your Binocucom, if you press the start menu right as the Binocucom opens, you can also do this with cutscenes or dialogue, the pause menu will go down and it will get stored, allowing you to overlay a second pause menu on top of it. And then what I'm doing is I'm loading that level in World 2 that we had earlier, and then I'm changing it to the second file that I'm playing on, so that I am bringing the second file I'm playing on back to World 2 while beating the boss at the same time. So it's very, very technical. Doesn't really make too much sense, but it looks cool, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and then you get back to World 2 very quickly, but with all your abilities and keys that you've collected from Worlds 3 and 4.
So right now what Zen's trying to do is use the rotating antenna on top of the building to pinch him against the wall on the right side. And if you time it perfectly, it'll pinch, slide, and launch him up in the air, which will allow us to get out of bounds and skip a 40-second cutscene.
AKA more flying raccoon.
Indeed.
There we go.
Yay.
All right, so that's part 1 of the trick. This is part 2.
Nice.
Which looks super easy. You're like, oh, you're just jumping back in bounds.
You are surrounded by death barriers
exactly.
right there.
You're jumping perfectly over a death barrier. And then here we're going to use that invisibility trick. And if you remember earlier, I said that you crouch when you do it. So we're going to use that to get kind of stuck in here. And then we're going to pause the game. And actually, that's not going to work. That's fine. There we go, that'll work. And then we can flying raccoon our way all the way over here to the end of the level.
Nice.
And we're good to go. We just skipped a huge section of the level. All right. And now we delayed this level. We did all of that, those crazy shenanigans that we did. All of this, now that we've collected the key, our reward was 8 seconds of time save.
Nice.
8 seconds. Yeah, that's right, guys. Yeah. 8 seconds.
Was that
That's
the
a lot
last
of
time we
time.
see him fly?
I believe there's one more. Yeah, there's one more.
One more.
Okay, partner.
Okay, partner.
All right, so this is World 5. This, as I said, is the one world that behaves differently. Rather than having a hub world that connects you to all of the levels, you just kind of go one level to the next. This is also a very long auto-scroller where all we do is kind of shoot stuff. So I'm actually going to use this time to kind of shout out the speedrunning Discord. It is available on our speedrun.com page. If you want to get in there, we have all 4 of the games all in the same Discord, so you can learn whatever one you want to. You can ask any questions that you want to. Everyone in the community is extremely friendly. We always welcome new runners. We love new runners. And you don't have to worry about the whole PS3 thing and trying to figure out what models to buy. Just playing the game on a base PS2, you're going to be able to compete with everyone except the world record holder. So feel free, if you have a PS2 in the game at home, to hop on and play. It also doesn't matter anymore if you're playing on PAL or NTSC. Almost every trick either has a PAL setup or a PAL alternative. So that's also wonderful. And if you have the remaster has its own leaderboard, actually, and is its own very special, very unique run, especially any %. I highly recommend, if you have time, after GDQ is over, to check out the remaster of the run, the remaster any %, because there's a lot of things that are similar, there's a lot of things that are different, and it's a very good run. And then I also want to shout out Kevin Miller, the voice of Sly Cooper. He's actually been a friend of mine for quite a few years now, and a friend of the community as a whole. Has hung out in the speedrunning community. He's had me specifically on his podcast to talk about speedrunning and Twitch and things like that. So, you know, Kevin's a really cool guy. And I would also really like to shout out Sucker Punch for being, you know, just fantastic game devs and giving us an absolutely wonderful game to play. And many other games after it to play as well. They've been really cool. And we had a previous developer from Sly 2 specifically, who has helped us out a lot. I cannot remember his name exactly at this time. I apologize. But he's actually helped us out a lot in Sly 2 with figuring things out. So I want to give a shout out to him as well. And one last major shout out to my beautiful wife for supporting me through this. When her and I started dating, I kind of told her about, you know, my hobby and what I do, and I'm a speedrunner and things like that. And she thought it was awesome. You know, she had already somehow found out about it before me, you know, telling her about it, because she's an awesome detective like that, and I love her very much. So I want to shout her out for being supportive and being awesome. Thank you, guys.
So one interesting thing about this level is you can actually hit the slugs out of bounds and make them fall infinitely. We might call it in the speedrunning community despawn, but the slugs never actually despawn. What we do is we hit them out so they infinitely fall, and when you knock one of those slugs out, it's actually faster to pick up all those computers, to take the time to hit that slug out, so that way you have a little more space, a little more room to collect these computers.
Yeah. A common misconception people have about this level is that these slugs, when you hit them, they die. And it's not actually true. It's like Exo says, the slugs are always the same 4 slugs throughout the entire minigame. So you want to try to push them either towards the middle, or like Exo said, you can knock them out of bounds and they won't be a problem. You do that over by the spawn point. I don't usually do that, just because I've done it this way for 7 years now. I feel like I would mess things up if I tried to do something new at this point, you know?
I think it only saves a few seconds anyway.
Yeah.
You're too quick already.
All right, here's going to be your last flying raccoon. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll miss it dearly.
It's a good one, though.
This is
Yeah.
the most iconic. This is the dreaded Bentley skip.
Ah, the classic.
The bane of new runners since the dawn of its existence. Since before I even learned the game 7 years ago.
Wow.
I promise it's harder than that. Perfect
Very
setup.
nice, very nice.
Now, you don't have to jump here. However, I was on a world record pace run in 100%, and I missed the pause. So now I just always jump, because you can't miss the pause that way.
Doesn't hurt.
All it takes is one record loss, and then you start doing safety strats all the time, right?
Right.
What do you think, Cinder? Should he shoot the slugs up top?
You know, I hear that they won't hit you.
If I had a charm, I wouldn't shoot them. But I don't have a charm, so I'm terrified of them killing me.
There's a very slim chance that one of the slugs can bump into another slug and just shoot the slug right at you and kill you.
Yeah,
I did not know that could happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
These slugs will come out and they'll chase you down. And those front two can sometimes proxy into Sly and hit him. And it's something that only has to happen to you once. And you never forget that memory.
Never do it again.
Never.
It's like the first time you fall off a bike or something, you know, you always remember that one because it's awful. And this level, there's a lot of skips here. So I'm just gonna sit quiet and just kind of let you guys enjoy the cool movement because it's this really sick level.
Slash through those gears with your tape. You've got to keep moving.
Nice.
All right,
Very
there we
nice.
go.
Very clean sinking barrel.
A funny story about that trick at the very end there. I discovered that trick on accident trying to explain it to Tame Neon about how that trick wasn't doable. I was trying to make the jump. I was like doing the trick. I'm like, we're so close to making this. If you could figure out how to, I just did it.
It's one of my favorite clips.
That's so funny.
It's a very good clip, yeah.
It's literally impossible. Oh, no, never mind.
I get very excited and like, I think I end up getting up and just leaving my chair set up at the time. Or not my chair set up, my bed set up. That was back when I still streamed on the bed, jeez.
So on the second phase of this boss fight, Clockwork will shoot rings at you and they go behind and can actually bounce back off the end of the level and come back from behind you and hit you. We call that in the community the purple ring, the dreaded
The dreaded purple ring.
You got him.
Nothing you can do about it.
That's one tough out.
I don't get it.
It is incredibly rare, thankfully. So hopefully we don't see it today here at GDQ.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
especially since we don't have a charm.
Yeah, I just noticed. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
I
Yeah.
don't actually remember where I lost that.
Well, there's where
Neither do I.
Oh, it was Date Skit, or 2 to Tango. And I couldn't
right.
load the game to get it back.
Yeah.
Thievius Raccoonus.
Enough, Sly Cooper.
It ends here. Shoutouts to Clockwork's voice actor, by the way. He's also the voice actor for Rajan in Sly 2. And
Oh, that's
he
right, yeah.
absolutely kills it as Rajan in that game. Super, super good.
Yeah, these are the purple rings Exo was talking about. They have a chance to bounce back at you from behind.
It can only happen in the first 3 phases of this part of the boss fight.
So these rings, they come at you in specific patterns. There's only certain patterns that can come in, but the pattern it picks is random. So you can either get lucky and get like some good pre-fires on the next spot that's gonna get hit by Carmelita. Because as you can see, Carmelita is shooting him and electrifying an area for us to damage.
And we survived the dreaded purple ring.
We made it through.
We have in fact survived.
Just one final trick of the game and then we're home free.
Now's your only chance, Sly. You've got to get to his head and destroy it before his auto.
I am.
He's gonna try to skip a section of the platforming here by jumping to that pipe over there.
Oh,
And he made it.
okay. All right, time is coming up. It'll be the last hit. I'll just still time for you. Time.
Time.
Oh.
It took some tricky maneuvering, but I managed to snatch that last piece of the Thievius Raccoonus from Clockwork's claw.
Do we watch the
Taking out
kiss?
Each member of the Thievius tribe.
It takes about a minute or 2 to get to. I think that's up to production. There's a little kiss between Sly and Carmelita that plays toward midway through the credits.
Reclaim my birthright. Of course,
Okay.
there was no way I could have gotten here.
So
without the help
I would just
of
like to
my
thank
pals.
GDQ for having me
I know this hasn't been
on
easy
again
for them.
to come on
They
here and
stuck with
showcase
you
Sly
through it
again.
all.
It's really awesome. I'm happy
Really?
Cinder was able to be here. No root canals this time, hopefully. I want to thank Exos for being here as well. That's
Thanks for
awesome.
having me. I had a ton of fun.
Of course, I'm happy you were able to be here.
Great, yeah.
Thank goodness for
It's
Benny.
awesome. Every time.
Without
It's
his
been 4 years
expertise,
since I've been able to be
I
here in
never found
person
my
and getting
way
to
out
see
that rooftop
all
in
of the
Paris.
craziness of backstage
A guy
and
couldn't ask
having
for
the
a
awesome
better
crowd
gang of
behind me
friends.
again. Yeah, it's really cool. So
Yeah.
thank you guys as well. It's awesome.
I'm a leader.
I promise. I heard you
Looks
guys
like we're
every
not gonna be
time that
friends
I finally got a trick and it made
Now
me
that
feel
Clockwork's
really
death
nice
rays out of
when I was
commission,
able to finally
we're
get
back
the
to
trick.
playing
So I
cops
thank
and
you,
robbers.
and I would like to thank everyone else at home as well
I thought for
for
sure
tuning
she was
in,
gonna slap
for
the
checking out
handcuffs on
Sly.
me right then and there.
Like I mentioned
Instead,
earlier, if
she
you want to
was
get
true
into
to
the
her
game,
word
feel
and
free to
gave me
join the
that 10
Discord
second head start.
and ask anybody.
10,
We're all here, happy to help.
9,
8,
We got a
7,
countdown here.
6, 5, 4, 3,
3,
2,
2.
1.
1.
Yay! He did it. But he also handcuffed her to the rails inside an active volcano, so that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, we'll see her again.
But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of the GDQ.
Good run, Zen.
Good job,
you.
Ben.
Well, thank you again, Zenthrow, for that incredible run. And I do think you got all of the keys. I think was I supposed to be counting? Someone was, right? Okay. But let's hear it, everyone. Claps for Zenthrow. Wonderful, wonderful. One last shout out. Because we have a donation for $20 from Doodlebee, who says, yes, my favorite Sly trick, Sly Cooper and the Yeetus Raccoonus. I hear that's a rare genus. Now, we are going to take a quick break. I hope y'all can stretch, get hydrated, and be ready for more because, we have more. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope your break was refreshing and you are ready for all of the good things we have in store. Up next, we do have a Link Between Worlds that's being run by the illustrious Ben Stevens. But I do have a couple of important notes to share with you all, okay? Are you ready? Are you ready to take notes on my notes? Yes, yeah, we're good. We're good. We got pen, we got paper. All right. If you want a perfect blend of features and performance for all the games you love, may I recommend Asus? Asus has got you covered with industry-leading gaming monitors and peripherals. You can upgrade your setup with high-quality monitors, keyboards, mice, controllers, and chairs. All of that is available at us.asus.click/SGDQ. That is us.asus.click/SGDQ, where you can start assembling your ultimate gaming setup. Now, what to watch on that monitor? Oh, I know. How about Other Worlds? That's a Red Bull gaming content series hosted by the one, the only legendary Red Bull player and speedrunner, David Hunt, aka Grand Pooh Bear. Other Worlds highlights niche, unconventional games and the players driving each community. Tune in to new episodes each month at youtube.com/@Red Bull LFG. All right, everybody wrote that down? Perfect, I'm glad we're all on board. Okay, so we will be getting some Zelda goodness real soon, but first there's even more in store. Let's hear it for an interview with our bloodstained runner, Blacktastic.